oyster industry and the whaling industry built the town of Warren. That's what, it was a deep water port, it was sheltered, so it was a shipbuilding port, ship fitting, oyster shucking houses.
Well, in the town of Warren right now, we have approximately 5 parks. And the one right here where we're standing now, there's a potential of maybe 2 more ball fields and maybe a soccer practice field, along with the project playground, which was built by all volunteers here. Well, the Warren Beach, I would say on a hot summer day down there, we probably get about 1,000 people. That they're not all from the town of Warren, but they all manage to get in down there. There's plenty of parking, and it's a real nice area. There's a sun spot, and there's, if you prefer to stay in the shade, there's plenty of trees. Low impact, we've always had kite flying contests for the kids at the playgrounds, and we've had bicycle rodeos, and we would like to put a nature path down here too. Like I say, there's approximately 12 acres here. Fishing is great, in Warren. We've had also at one of the playground activities we have is a fishing contest, and what we do is we take the kids down to the Kiki.
My name is Mike Monroe. I'm the ops manager of Bristol County Water Authority. The water in the Kickamuit Reservoir comes from the Kickamuit watershed. It's a 4.4 square mile watershed extending into Massachusetts. This reservoir needs to be protected in the future. Public ownership is its best protection. A resource, once gone, is gone forever. The Kickamuit River has a daily safe yield of about 600,000 gallons of water. The people of the town of Warren should protect this reservoir by encouraging zoning laws and use restrictions that will be harmful to a public water supply or a body of water.
Over the years, we haven't lost a great deal of woodland here in Warren because Warren was a farm town. We had a lot of open farmland. So we probably have almost as much woodland, maybe more, some people would say, than we had 50 years ago. I don't know what the future holds, but a lot of people now are realizing the importance of open space and passive recreation areas, and they're trying to preserve woodlands. I think our building and zoning laws and rules should cover open space. They should require that some lands are left open and forested. The This is very important because some people want to develop everything. And if this is allowed, we'll lose a great part of our heritage and our peace of mind. We have a wide diversity of trees. We have hickories, oaks, several kinds of oaks. White oak, red oak family, represented by several species. We have wild cherry, black cherry, choke cherry trees, sycamores, cedars, junipers, and a variety of other conifers. But we also have black locusts, and just about any tree you could find in the Northeast is pretty well represented throughout Warren. As far as the animals in Warren that live in these wooded areas, we have gray squirrels, we have a few red squirrels. We also have in the woodlands and in Warren in general, possums, raccoon, gray fox, red fox, muskrat, few mink. This area used to be a field. 15 years ago, I picked corn here. As you can see now, there are some trees that are almost 30 feet high.
Well, I'd like to see them preserve what they've got, little bit they've got left, I'll tell you what, because I know when I first come around, I really enjoyed it. My kids growing up really enjoyed it. You know, they were in the woods all the time playing and stuff like that, and they used to go on hikes out and back here. They'd always come home with frogs or turtles and stuff like that, you know. And I hate to see all that, you know, go away, really. But I really enjoy it. I like to see other, you know, kids enjoy it, you know, in the future. Frogs, we have some frogs right back here. I understand it's almost extinct right back here. The northern leopard frog, you know.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yes, they claim this is one of the only places they've seen them, right back in these woods here. It's a good buffer also, you know, the animals and everything else. Really, corn's a big thing. You know, most all the farms, Delisandro and all that, they all have roadside stands, and, you know, in the summertime, corn is a hot number, really. Corn, tomatoes, peppers, stuff like that, you know. That's what I used to raise. I used to raise an awful lot. I used to have a little roadside stand by Smitty's Bike Shop down Market Street, you know. Well, the only thing worries me is I hate seeing all this development and stuff like that here, you know.
I don't know where you was married, somewhere over there anyway.
Warren has more acres of prime farmland than any town in Bristol County. It definitely improves the quality of life in Warren by having all this beautiful open space for people to appreciate. The future of farming in Warren looks pretty good thanks to the purchase of development rights to the farms. It'll continue to keep the land available for farming. It'll continue to keep the land open for people to appreciate the land and to enjoy the natural beauty. The soils in Warren are highly productive. They range from a clay type to a nice sandy loam to a very deep muck loam in different parts, but all very highly productive. We're very blessed. We have nice deep loam here, and the soil types are very conducive to high production.
As of right now, I don't believe there are more than 25, if that, productive dairy farms in the state. And this happened to be the first one preserved as farmland, and I hope they can save some of the others, actually. If not for actual farming, for open spaces for animals to be on, and trees and things. Well, all that goes out of here now is milk, and that's wholesaled. And everything else that's grown is to feed the cows. Well, this farm has been noted for history as far as Indians, Roger Williams, and places where they got the foundation for some of the chimneys and some of the mills in town. Stagecoach inns, path through the woods that comes out into Swansea, which was a direct route from Newport to Swansea by way of stagecoach.
In the wetlands, we have the spartinas, which are the grasses, the low spartinas, which are called patens, and the tall spartinas, which are Alternarfuria. They, as you can see by the ground, they have fiddler crabs in them. They're loaded with ribbed oysters, and ribbed oysters are very beneficial to a marsh because they cleanse the waters. And all the grass, as you can see, is just beginning to turn green, whereas all winter it was brown, and it's beginning to decompose. And as it decomposes, it becomes microscopic, and your baby fish that are hatched here in the marsh eat the detritus. And then the little fish get eaten by a bigger fish and bigger fish and bigger fish. 90% of all the commercially harvested fish in the United States, particularly on the East Coast, originates in the marsh. We need them in order to have quahogs and clams and crabs and fish and everything else. We're going to need these, and if they're completely destroyed, we're going to have a void out here with nothing. This refuge is going to be open to the public, but mostly it's for the benefit of the school children in the town of Warren. For the past 2 years, I've taken the 2nd and 3rd grade classes through, and it's amazing the questions that they ask. They have a deep respect for it due to their teachers, and I will introduce different plant life as we go along, and they will not pick it. They will just note, and when they get back, look at pictures. They've seen the fiddler's crabs. They've seen all the oysters, the mussels, and how the water comes in and out, and they have a deep respect, and I think that with these children coming along, I think that Rhode Island, and particularly Warren, we're going to be pretty safe as far as salt marshes go.
Well, before the river was closed, when it was Class A, we were able to quahog, and we get the quahogs by digging with our feet. We go out a little ways and just dig with our feet, and we usually end up with about 20 to 25 quahogs.
Well, after we got the quahogs, we would take them home, clean them, and then we'd cook them different ways.
And we give some to our grandmother.
Now on the river, we just boat and swim and sail and a lot of stuff, but we just can't quahog anymore.
there's more and more people coming around. There's more and more, and as more people come around, there's more use of your waterways, and there are more boats, and there could be more pollution, and there could be all kinds of things that happen. Well, today we have an awful lot of boats here, and a lot of people, and having fun, and we have a great state with the Narragansett Bay and the Warren River. If I were asked about the heritage and the thoughts of any of the young people today growing up and going to school, I would suggest that they think about what effect they personally would have on the environment. What are they going to do? Are they going to come down to the shoreline and throw stones and stuff in the water? Or are they going to just observe and enjoy the scenery? In other words, are they going to do something that will change, or are they going to leave it the way it is? And I think that as they grow older, they would see that it would be a lot better for everything if nothing were disturbed and if they enjoyed what they have, just the way back in the 1600s, the Indians here, they didn't change anything. They lived here for thousands of years, and this was the same. And they didn't do anything to really change things. So I think the big thing is that individually, everybody should just not or try to avoid changing anything, even a stone, to throw a stone in the water.
Current state of the shell fishing industry in the town of Warren. There's about 50 boats that moor along, 50 to 60 boats that moor along the Warren waterfront. Some are Warren citizens, others are not. It's a convenient place to moor. It's close to the shellfish beds. The state of the fishery is not as healthy as we'd like it to be. Prices are depressed. Quahoggers are depressed. Currently, all of Warren's waters are closed to shell fishing. The Kickamuit River closed last year for the first time in history. A small portion of the Palmer River was just recently closed. The main body of the Warren River has been closed for about 40 years. The only actual piece of water in Warren that's open to shell fishing would be a piece of the Palmer River, and that's only on a conditional basis. So you'd have to say that most of Warren's waters are closed to shell fishing presently. Septic systems, I know, cause a problem when they fail. So installation of sewer lines is important. A well-run sewage treatment plant is important. I know Warren's plant has been listed by Save the Bay as good for quite a few years in a row now. So we have a very well-run sewage treatment plant in the town of Warren.